This is a training video for new Mobilize America users. So first, we'll start with the side of the platform that volunteers see. This is your public events feed. It shows all of the events that your organization has. This is our test account, Obama for Congress. As you can see, the events feed is fully customizable. You can change your name, your URL slug, which is the unique part of the URL that directs to your organization, your color, so this banner and all these buttons, and your logo. The events feed looks amazing when customized and even better when you add pictures and great names for all your events. You'll notice repeating events, high priority events, and events hosted by other organizations. I'll explain more about that later. Volunteers can filter the events feed by location, event type, and date. So now let's take a look at a sign-up page. As you can see, the sign-up page has the logo and the color. You can see here the event name, the tagline, and the description. So when volunteers go to sign up, they have to fill out all of these fields so that it syncs properly with Van. Volunteers can check as many shifts as they want, and they can also opt in for SMS. So that's opting into both our list and yours. When people sign up, they will receive an email immediately, as well as confirmation emails the day before and the day of the event. If they've opted into the SMS, they will also receive confirmation texts. People can confirm and cancel from the email or text. So moving on now to your dashboard, which is the back end of Mobilize. You can access the dashboard through the passwordless login system. So you'd go to events.mobilizeamerica.io/dashboard and put in your email right here. You'll receive an email with a one-time link to your dashboard. Once you are logged in, you will not need to log in again until you use a different browser or click logout. So this is the dashboard. We're going to start with some basic settings. Here you can change the organization name and the URL slug. Next is the reply to email, which is the default email for volunteers trying to contact the organization. People often use info@ or contact us at whatever, and when they reply to confirmation emails, this will be the default email that it goes to. You can also override it with a specific email for each event. You'll notice here the Enable Promotions button, which again we'll get to later. Next, you can see the branding. You can put in your own logo as well as your color just by copying and pasting the hex code in right here. Finally, this is the analytics section, which is completely optional. It's just if that's something that you're using. So now we're going to look at the events page and learn how to create a new event. As you can see upcoming, past, and promoted events here. Here you can mark events as high priority, and you can search through this search feature. To create a new event, you just click this button right here, but we're going to look at one that's already filled in so you can see what it looks like. One way to find edit is to go right here and select that, but we're going to look right here to see what a filled in event details page looks like. Just want you to notice that you can export signups right here, so you'll receive an email with a spreadsheet of all the signups and contact information. So now we're going to edit. So a new event will look exactly the same as this, except that it will be blank. So here you can put in the event name, and if it's different, you can have a separate name for Van using your organization's naming conventions. Here you can add a tagline, which will just show up right underneath the event name, something short and catchy. Next, you can put an event type and select the visibility to public or private. So public means that will show up on your public events feed and anyone can sign up, whereas if it's private, only people with the URL can sign up. Next, you put in a description, so you want to tell people what's going on at the event and why they should show up. Next, you'd add a photo, and we really recommend that you do this because it looks great and it looks incomplete if you don't have a photo. Then you'd add the private details. So you can see here an example of a confirmation email. You'd have your logo at the top right here, and then that field will translate to the private event details right here, where you would put in any information that people need to know, and you can customize this email. So maybe you put in information on parking or telling people to bring a raincoat, whatever you might need to tell them, you put that right in there and it'll show up in the confirmation emails. Next, you'd add in the contact information to the organizers, and people will get that in, again, in this email right here. And here's the email that they'll be able to reply to if they reply to the confirmation email, so they can contact the organizer. So next, let's look at creating shifts. First, you must set a time zone. Next, you're going to use this tool right here to add shifts. And just to be clear, nothing will be added until it populates underneath shift times right here. And you must have shifts added in order to submit the event. So if you're doing it once, maybe it's for this Saturday, and you want it to be from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m., you just set that up frequency once and click Add Shift. But let's say it's a recurring event, so maybe this is going to happen every week. So you'd have starting this Saturday and going till 3 Saturdays from now, click Add Shift, and all 3 will populate just like that automatically. You can just hit X if you want to get rid of them. Finally, you'd add the location. The only thing you're required to put in is a zip code, so if the location is TBD, that's fine. And you can also mark the event address as private if you don't want people to know until they've already signed up. So if you're having a volunteer host a house party, you might mark it as private so that people don't have your volunteer's address. Then you click Submit, and it'll appear right on your public events feed. So next we're going to look at how you add people to your dashboard. So you just enter the email and name right here. You can add them as either an admin or an organizer. So admins will have access to all tabs and edit anything, whereas organizers can only create events and edit or delete their own events. People that you add will get an email letting them know they can access the dashboard. Another important feature is promotions. It helps organizations or campaigns get sign-ups for another organization's volunteer network. So if another organization promotes you, your events will appear in their events feed, and their volunteers can sign up for your events. You can also promote other organizations and direct your volunteers to their events. Here you can choose who you want to promote, and right here you can see who is promoting you. So maybe you're promoting an organization, but you only want some of their events on your events feed. You can use the Promotions Filtering tab right here. You can exclude events by location, type, and if virtual. You can also manually exclude them on the Events tab right here, or mark them as high priority. So if you click Exclude, they'll show up like that. So this is the Volunteers tab, which basically just shows all your volunteers that have signed up for shifts on Mobilize, and you can see a bit more about them if you just click on them. So you can see their contact info and the shifts they've shown up for, and if they signed up through a promoter, that will also be marked on here. Next, we're going to look at the Exports tab. So you can export a list of volunteers or of shifts, and you'll get an email with a spreadsheet with lots of information about those things. Next, we're going to look at the Embed tab. This is a really important one that we encourage you to take advantage of. You can embed the events feed into your own website by copying and pasting this snippet right here into the HTML of your website. You can also embed a filtered version by going to your events feed and filtering it using this feature right here. So maybe you just want canvases, and you would just take this link and put that in place of the link that we have right here. And that'll embed a filtered feed when you copy and paste the snippet. You can also add a Hot Leads form. So the Hot Leads form allows volunteers to sign up without actually signing up for a specific shift. If they want to volunteer in the future, you'll get a list integrated into Van, and you can also add survey questions and activist codes. Finally, you can see the Stats tab, which just gives you some data on your field program. So now that you know the ins and outs of the platform, what next? Well, first you should go through the settings to customize your events feed. Next, you should get started on your Van sync, which is super important. Request an API from the help/support section in Van, and we will let you know once we have received it. From there, a Van settings tab will appear on your dashboard, and we will give you instructions on how to configure that. It's very important that you configure the Van settings tab, otherwise the sync will not work properly. Once you've got your Van all set up, you can start creating events. If you have any questions, you can contact us through the chat icon in the bottom right of your screen or email support@mobilizeamerica.io. Thanks for watching.